Every story has two sides, the one that you're told and the one that's hidden. Welcome to Twisted Storytimes.
Culture shock. Nia thought moving to Japan would feel like freedom. A fresh start, a new country, new people, a new version of herself. See, back home in the US, everything felt loud. Opinions, expectations, pressure. Who she should be, who she looked like, what she should tolerate. So when the opportunity came, she took it, no hesitation. Her first night in Tokyo felt like stepping into another world. Lights everywhere, people moving with purpose and order. Quiet, even in the noise. She stood at the crosswalk watching the crowd flow around her. No one stared, no one approached, and no one said anything. And for a moment, she felt invisible. Back home, she was used to being seen, sometimes too much. But here, it was different. At first, she liked it. The space, the independence, the feeling of being able to just exist. But over time, the same invisibility started to feel like distance. Her days became routine, train, work, convenience store meals, phone calls back home that ended with, "You sound different." "I'm good," she would say, and she meant it mostly. Dating was where things shifted for her. Her first date was polite, very polite. Maybe a little too polite. He smiled a lot. He was a great listener. And he nodded continuously. But something felt kind of off about him. When she laughed, he didn't laugh the same way. When she spoke passionately, he seemed unsure how to respond. And when the night ended, there was no confusion. Just a quiet distance she couldn't explain. The next few attempts weren't much different. Some curious, some distant, some unsure how to place her. One night she sat in her apartment scrolling through her phone, looking at herself, like really looking at herself. "Am I different here?" She asked it out loud. Because back home she knew who she was, her energy, her personality, her presence. But here, she wasn't sure how she was being received, or if she was being received at all. That's when the twist began. It wasn't about them, it was most definitely about her. Because slowly she started adjusting, softening her voice, holding back her reactions, making herself smaller in ways she didn't even realize. Not because anyone told her to, but because she wanted so badly to fit in. One night she caught herself mid-conversation nodding, smiling, and agreeing, not because she felt it, but because it felt easier. And something in her paused, because suddenly she didn't recognize herself anymore. "Wait a minute," she whispered under her breath. "When did I start doing that?" That moment hit harder than the awkward date, because she didn't move across the world to lose herself in a different way. She moved to find freedom, not to replace one version of pressure with another. The next day, everything shifted, not very loudly, but internally. She stopped over-adjusting, stopped flattering herself, stopped shrinking her personality to feel accepted. She laughed how she laughed. She spoke how she spoke, carried herself how she always had. And something very interesting happened. People responded differently. Not everyone, but the right ones. Because the version of her that was trying to fit in wasn't connecting. But the version of her that stood in who she was, that's what stood out. The twist, she thought she needed to change to belong somewhere new. But when she really needed was to stop abandoning herself in unfamiliar spaces. Because culture shock wasn't just about where she moved. It was about realizing no matter where you go, if you lose yourself to fit in, you still feel out of place. And in that moment, she stopped adjusting. She finally started belonging. New environments will change you, not just externally, but internally. And the pressure to fit in can quietly turn into self-abandonment. You don't need to shrink, soften, or change who you are to be accepted, because the right spaces won't require you to become someone else. They will recognize you when you show up as yourself. And no matter where you go, you should never lose yourself just to feel like you belong. This is Twisted Stories, where the truth always comes out, just not how you expect it.
Thank you for turning the pages on this twisted story with us. If you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any posts from us. And remember, every twisted story have a life lesson attached to it, whether good or bad. you can learn from it and also grow. See you guys next time.